Hey guys, today we're going to be going over a Queen Ling drop versus Terran. So I like to do this build mixed in because I like to play a lot of 2 base openers and it makes it very hard for them to read, so they can't just blind hard counter you. You still have some ways to apply pressure through builds like Nidus Worms, Roach All-Ins, or builds like this Queen Ling drop. So just to keep them honest and they can't go super greedy against your mutas if you want to play that kind of style, this is definitely one of the builds you want to mix in. So we go 16 hatchery. We go first drone rally to gas, second drone rally to minerals, and then third rally to pool. So it's a little bit different than normal. Normally you would rally your first to minerals, then gas, then pool. So slight deviation, we just want that gas a little bit faster than you normally would. Now we're just going to do normal things. We're going to drone to 20 out of 22, then we're making overlord, and then we're going to go 2 pairs of lings. Now he does a relatively fast scout, so he has a fair idea of what's going on. So nothing crazy, just looks super normal, right? So once we start speed, we're going to keep in gas since we're playing a 2 base opener. Start our 4 lings to deal with the Reaper, nothing too crazy. And generally we're going to drone to about 26, 27. And so we're just doing the dance now. And as soon as this queen pops, we're going to get our lair, and then this will start another queen. Now we want to double inject because we need the larva since we're playing a 2 base opener, so no creep tumor. And then we just start this. Now we're only going to go 1 gas. We don't really need more than 1 gas. This is plenty enough to afford everything. I'm going to go ahead and start some extra overlords once we're on our desired drone count. This game I want 26 to 28. Any is fine really. Now he is going to get the scout with the Reaper jumping in the main. He sees the lair timing and he only sees 1 gas. Now I actually start these as a bit of a fake, thinking he was going to jump back down, but he never actually did. So it was a bit weird in that way, but I'm going to go ahead and start Overlord speed after that queen pops. And then we're just going to start massing a bunch of lings. This Overlord will give me a good idea if Hellions are out on the map. Mainly you just want to kind of zone them out with these queens just so he doesn't dive. If he does dive, he's going to have less Hellions for the defense anyway, so it's not really that bad. As our lair finishes, we're going to have the gas to start morphing some dropper lords, so anywhere from 3 to 4 is pretty good, because you're not just going to want to use them for the queens, but now also the lings if he decides to wall off, or if he decides to go to the high ground. Up here you can actually just lift over the depots, they're not as prevalent. So now that we see, we're going to go straight across the map. We actually get a catch on the Hellions, which is super big in this kind of scenario. And he doesn't always see he doesn't see us going straight across. Now you will have spotter dropper or overlords like this. I have one over here. I didn't do a great job of spreading mine this game, like this one served no real purpose. But if you have a good idea of where they are with their units, you can always try and dodge the units with the overlords to make it more of a surprise when you get there. Now this is the ideal situation where he goes Hellion Banshee. 3cc Hellion Banshee especially is very, very good against. So obviously Hellions can do well against the lings, but since they're going to be unloading out of a dropper lord, they're going to be dropping out, 1, 2 at a time, depending on how many of these are synced up. So the Hellions aren't going to actually get super juicy shots as long as you keep your main clump of lings that are reinforcing away from the Hellion shots and mainly have these attacking them. Meanwhile, your first overlord across the map will need to be morphed into an overseer if it was Banshee. Granted, this could be against BC too. BC wouldn't be as scary though, because it would be much later, and by that time they've probably lost too much stuff. And you are starting queens behind this as a side note, and you can decide to keep flooding lings to start droning. Kind of depends on what you see, if you felt like you got enough damage, if you want to transition. And you can really go into anything out of this. You can go into roaches, you can take all the gases and go into spire. You can really, the world's your oyster. You have all the options in the world, right? But in this case, we got those early picks on the Hellions earlier, and we have the ideal build order matchup. So in this case, there's not too much he can do just because of the situation he's in. We start dropping the lings and kind of get us around on the Hellions. We can start dropping creep for the queens, and they can start transfusing each other. This one was kind of left to die. I was a little sad on my end. But yeah, there's not really much he can do just because of how this worked out. Now, they can evac to the high ground if they choose, in which case you can just contain. You can start using your queens to poop creep everywhere and just use it as more of a fine time mechanism if you can't actually kill them, and that's a fine way to play it too. But I thought this is an interesting build to show off because it has a lot of potential, especially in terms of transitioning out of it. Sometimes you can go into, Bane drops if you want, play out that kind of way while taking a third. You can really do a lot of different things as a transition, so just something cool that I thought I would show off. And I know there's a lot of different variations of this, like I know Eric has a Roach Queen drop build which is relatively new, I think, off the 14 hatch that Zero played recently. So I think that's definitely something else. If you like builds like this, I would definitely refer to that as well. And just see what you like, mess around with it. And at the end of the day, it's just about playing the builds that you think are good and what fits your preference. So I just thought this would be a cool thing to show off. And yeah, I'll have replay down in the description. I'm going to try this different format of just shorter tutorials in terms of I'm just going to show one game, give you the base idea, and if you want more situations or scenarios, you can either DM me in Discord or you can ask for more replays, just so that way we don't have, you know, these slugfest of 30-minute videos. And I just want to see how it does audience-wise, what people prefer just based on the analytics and stuff. So hope this was fairly interesting. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope it helps. Good luck on ladder.